This might be the worst job market we've ever seen, and people are very upset about it. My name is Quan. Welcome to Quan Bailey Show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like to talk about things personal finance related and talk about the things that are happening around the world, man. I'm just here to watch some videos with you, and we're going to break some things down, all right? Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers, and we're back from being sick, so let's get to it. Let's get to this first video.
Girl, if you have a job, keep it. Keep it. I applied for 3,000 jobs. 3,000. The job market is so bad right now. Go cry in the bathroom. Go cry anywhere. On your break, I don't care. Keep your job. Because the way this job market is going, girl, I'm about to commit a crime.
Now, super short video there, right? But it's funny because just a few years ago, everybody was like, oh, if you don't like your job, quit your job. Millennials were known for job hopping, going from place to place. And now people are making literal videos, satire or not, saying, if you have a job, keep your job. Because it's that hard to find a job right now, right? But let's go a little bit more serious here and talk about some of the things that people are actually feeling, okay? A little bit more serious, but still a bit of a jokey undertone.
Why the fuck is an entry-level job asking for experience?
Dude, you are the experience, okay?
You go to McDonald's to apply for a job.
They're hoping you have a fucking degree. And you worked at fucking Taco Bell for 2 years. It's like, dude,
Who do you think you are? You're the fucking experience.
even take it up another level. You go get your degree in finance.
Good fucking luck working at a firm or some shit. Even though you just got the degree, which is supposed to be worth it.
You better fucking intern for no money for 2 years at least before...
You can start working at our firm.
What the fuck do you think you are, bro? It's all these old...
So, as you can see, people are starting to get fed up, right? The satire content is getting crazy about this situation. People are applying to thousands of jobs and not able to find jobs, right? I know people who have literally been employed for 4 or 5 years. There are people my age, I'm 33 years old, who haven't been able to find a job, especially within their career. And it's getting to the point now where people are very upset, very bothered, and are just voicing their frustrations. Here's another example, and it's honestly one of those things where it doesn't matter the level of education. It could be an entry-level job such as fast food, all the way up to an entry-level job post 4-year degree, master's. Everyone is feeling this, all right? So let's hear from this guy here.
So I applied to 1,002 jobs this summer, and this is how it went. So I got ghosted by 760 and rejected by 239. But I did manage to get 210 first round interviews. Shout out Prep AI. I also managed to get 130 second round interviews. There were a lot of meetings and third and fourth round interviews, but I ended up with 20 final round interviews. In the end, I received 3 job offers. I declined 2 and I accepted 1.
So think about it like that. He's 1,000 jobs he applied for. He only got to a final offer from 20 of those. That's not even 1%. And out of those 20, he got 3 job offers. And he had to use some AI software to even apply to 1,000 jobs. More on AI a little bit later. But think, 1,000 jobs, man. How long does that take? Even using a software, it takes forever, right? 1,000 jobs, and he only was able, that took him 1,000 jobs to get 1 job. I mean, what does that say about the state of things? I mean, the media makes it like everything is fine, but clearly it's not. Let's look at this other video kind of talking about that very topic.
Can anybody explain to me why the mainstream media is not talking about how brutal the 2025 job market is? I've been in recruiting for coming up to a decade, and I've literally never seen candidates struggle as much as they are on this 2025 job market. A lot of them are having to apply to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs. And most of those jobs, they never hear anything back from. It's literally like applying into a black hole. And then I'm hearing about job searches that are going on for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. I even talked to someone the other day that was on a job search for 18 months. And then when they get into interview processes with companies, it's crazy. It's literally like the corporate Hunger Games. They're having to go through 7, 8, 9 rounds of interviews. There's nonstop assessments. There's take-home work that's unpaid. They have panel interrogations, as I call them. And then if they do happen to be the candidate that makes it and gets the job offer, they're getting lowballed. Like, companies are lowballing people intentionally because they know if you don't accept their lowball offer, they'll find someone who will. And for some reason, the mainstream media keeps on saying that it's a hot job market. So someone please explain to me how this...
Of course, it's been proven that the media was lying about the job market. The reports, or rather, the media wasn't lying, but the reports that were coming out up until very recently had shown that it was a lie. There aren't as many jobs, and right now, at least in California, there are more people unemployed than there are jobs available. In terms of people actively looking for work that are unemployed, there are more people unemployed than jobs available for those people. So at this point, we're in this weird situation where it's like, what are we even doing? People going 18 months. Like I said, I have friends who haven't been able to find a job within their field in 4 or 5 years. I mean, they're working at bars and whatever they have to do, but what are people gonna do, man? Right? I mean, there's a lot of new jobs that are going to be available due to the way the country has shifted, at least here in America, but I mean, that's absolutely terrifying. And as somebody who, I work for myself, I'm a personal trainer here in Los Angeles. I work for myself and I do social media as well. This is my second channel, and I'll tell you, it's scary. I had a client of mine who works in corporate America recently tell me that he wishes he was more in the creative space, because that's one of the spaces that they're going to struggle to replace with AI and struggle to replace in terms of its impact. And it's crazy because when I first started doing this, it was kind of looked at as a hobby or something you could never make a living with, and it's what I do for a living now. So I find that to be very interesting, folks. Let me know what you guys are feeling down below. If you are unemployed, do you have a job? Do you like your job? Are you afraid to try to leave your job? What's your current feelings on the job market in your current employment situation? Now we're going to get to another video here, folks. This is pretty interesting here. Let's hear from another person who's in this job market.
The job market is currently so bad right now, I don't know why there's not full-blown panic on the streets.
Guys, I've been saying this for months, but the job market is absolutely brutal. It's like the corporate Hunger Games out there. You got thousands of people just going for one job. And if you're applying to jobs, you know exactly the feeling. You're applying to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs, and hearing back from probably 1 to 3 of those jobs. It's literally a numbers game right now. Most companies you're going to apply to, and you're going to go in a black hole and never hear back. On top of that, if you apply to a job and you get rejected, chances are you're going to see that same job reposted a couple weeks later. And now the data is really starting to back this up.
So that's actually really interesting to hear, because again, that's the same recruiter talking. He was reacting to another video, but as you can hear, people are so frustrated they feel like the street should be in full-blown panic. And this recruiter who we saw in the previous video even said, it's like, people are applying for jobs, going through the entire interview process, and then the job comes back after being pulled. As he said, people are applying for jobs and they're doing 7 interviews, taking homework home. They're making you work for it. It's the biggest competition we've seen for these positions, just for them to lowball you. But what I do think is kind of mentally tough for this younger generation that's going through this, I would say, I mean, it's of all ages, honestly, they're going through it, but I feel like the generation, and I hope this isn't like offend anyone, but I feel like we live in a time where people got things just for participating, and now they have to be extremely competitive. And I think that is so hard to expect them to be super competitive when they never had to be growing up, right? So now there's a whole generation that wasn't pushed to be competitive, right? They have to compete for jobs that aren't going to pay them what they think they're worth. What are people supposed to do? The jobs aren't even paying enough to, meet with the current cost of living in America. Like, think about that. Just to give you some context, we're gonna get back to more jobs, but I want you to hear this video right here, how much it costs to live comfortably in each U.S. state right now, okay? Just a kind of rough estimate, just so you can have an idea of what I mean. Because you go to school, you get $80,000 in debt, you go to get a job, and then you have to look for a place to live, you have to, you have to eat, you have to do your thing. So you getting offered $30,000 out of college doesn't work like it did in 2005, and also that $30,000 isn't even worth the same. So let's take a look at this here.
Here's how much it costs to live in every state in America. Actually, let's do the 5 most expensive states, and we'll also do the 5 cheapest. Should we start with cheapest? Number 5 is Kentucky. If you're a single adult, $83,500. If you're a family of 4, $192,000. Number 4 is North Dakota, $82,200 as a single, $207,000 as a family of 4. South Dakota, $82,100 or $193,000 as a family. And number 1, cheapest state for cost of living, West Virginia. You need to make $80,800 as a single or $195,000 as a family of 4. Now moving on to the most expensive. These are not going to come as a surprise. Number 5 is Washington. You need to make $109,000 a year as a single or $277,000 as a family of 4. Number 4 is New York. $114,000 as a single or $276K as a family. 3 is California. $119,000 a year as a single, $287K as a family of 4. Number 2 is Massachusetts. $120,000 as a single, $313,000 as a family. And number 1 most expensive state for cost of living is Hawaii. You need to make $124,000 a year as a single or $294,000 as a family of 4.
So that's absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, a lot of jobs you have to make they're saying 80,000 plus is where you need to be basically nationwide to compete with the rising costs of living in the country. Now, are there people who make less than that? Yes, myself, so many other people, right? A lot of you watching, yes, they're not saying you can't survive, but to keep up with the cost of living and keep up with the changes and the way things are trending, that's what you need to make, is what this creator is saying. Now, of course, there's ways to save costs, living together with extra people, rooming, all that stuff, but to think you needing $200,000 to raise a family nowadays is absolutely ridiculous. People are applying for jobs that might not even be there. Here's a video that I found about what's actually happening with the hiring process that's absolutely crazy.
We need to talk about this. This is huge. A hiring manager literally got a whole entire HR team fired because of auto rejecting application. Cliff Notes version. The hiring manager was not seeing any candidates. 3 months, nobody was coming through the pipeline. He kept asking his HR team, what is going on? He said, no. Something's not right here. I am going to take this into my own hands. Now, I just want to give a standing ovation to this hiring manager for actually speaking up and saying something. He decided, I'm going to take my resume, I am going to submit the application, and I am going to see what happens. As you can see here, I got auto rejected. He took it up the chain. Majority of the HR team got fired. I am not sure what this HR team was doing. I have done a lot of recruiting. If I'm seeing literally 0 people are moving forward in the process, I'm going to start questioning why is that happening, because clearly there is something wrong. While there is no easy way around the hiring process, 2 things that I can tell you. 1, use a tool like CV Wolf. This does not cost any money to compare your resume against the job description that you're applying to. The second thing I will tell you, where you can, leverage your network, maneuver around the system. Maybe somebody you know can put your resume in front of a recruiter, a hiring manager. I am definitely going to be sharing more tips about networking, strategies that I am seeing working for people. If you know something that's working, let us know, because we are trying to get people hired.
Okay, so think about it like that. So an HR team is fired after a manager uses his own resume to see that their AI tool for reading resumes and seeing if they're a fit or not isn't working. So it's auto rejecting. So not only are people applying for what's called ghost jobs, jobs that aren't real, jobs that are being pulled and put back up just to inflate the numbers, you now also have AI, the very thing taking jobs from people, auto rejecting people for applications, so people who are qualified aren't even being looked at. And so, the AI thing seems to be a double-edged sword, but what does this mean for you? Well, it means you have to pivot. You have to find the other ways to get jobs. As the person said, leverage your network. Try to get around the system. Use some of the tools that are available for you so you can actually compare and see where your resume stacks up for a given job. I mean, all of this is so hard to fathom for me because as a fitness person, my jobs are all referral. Like, I've been manager of different gyms, regional managers, I've done sales, all that. And every job I've gotten since I was 22 years old or 21 years old has been all referral based. So I've never had to go through this process. So I just really feel for people, man. It's absolutely scary. But I have another video for you guys here that it's about the current structure of the career ladder and where it is right now. I feel like this is going to give us a great idea of how we should look at this whole thing. What are some actionable steps we can take to making sure we don't get left behind as the world seems to be moving in a different direction? So let's check this one out.
College graduates are facing the highest unemployment rate in over a decade. Some people are blaming AI, others are blaming economic uncertainty and volatility, but I think we're missing the bigger picture. We are at the beginning of a massive workforce transformation. For almost a century, we've all been climbing what felt like predictable career ladders. You go to school, you get a job, you work step by step up some vertical career path. That ladder is now vanishing, entering into what I'm calling the independence era of work, where stable salaried jobs are fading, and work becomes more about offering your skills to a variety of different projects, which means even if you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur in the traditional sense, you'll soon have to start thinking like one. AI is going to change the skills companies need, maybe every 12 months, maybe every 24 months, which means they're going to be more reluctant to hiring full-time stable roles. Instead, they'll look for more independent talent who can move and adapt across projects. So my advice for recent
Quick. Hear me out. That means contract work is going to be key. If you're good at a certain set of skills, find a way to document those skills. Find a way to document the things that you're really good at. It seems like degrees weren't going to be the thing. I feel like long-term careers and stability might not be the thing going forward. Which, in culture, we were talking crap about that for the last couple of years. Everyone's saying, I don't want to do a 9-to-5 for life. I don't want to be trapped in the matrix and all this stuff. And now all of a sudden we're at a point where, well, there looks like there isn't a matrix anymore. It's going to be, what skill do you have that can help us achieve our goals as a company? That's crazy. How do you guys think people should educate themselves? How do you think people should prepare for something like this? All right, back.
Is to create your own apprenticeship. Focus on building skills across varied projects and don't worry if they're small or freelance or the specifics of the job title. And it's not easy for us to think about work this way, where skills start to become more important than job titles or historical experience. And it also has a lot of implications for economic and social security. But I also think if the fabric of our workforce is changing, it's an opportunity to present some new ideas. What is or isn't working? If you want to learn more about the future of work, I write all about these topics in my newsletter.
You just said, like if you work on let's say you're working right now in corporate America and you work on different projects, you're on different teams. Being able to identify what you did with each project, what your value was to that, and finding a way to put that in your resume or use that to leverage into getting another job is definitely going to be kind of the wave of the future. All right, we're back. The camera actually died and then the smoke alarm went off in my house. It was absolutely crazy. So we're back though. And in closing, I just wanted to say all those things are wild. All those things are crazy. We got police driving around, fire trucks. It's a lot happening, folks, but we are finishing this video. Full transparency, this is the third time I've tried to film this video in its entirety. From being sick the last couple of days with a stomach virus to all sorts of stuff, but we hit 100 subscribers, so I said I'm not gonna give up on this again. I'm not gonna back down again. I don't care if this gets 3 views or 1 million. We're gonna keep going, we're gonna keep getting better at this, we're gonna keep learning more about these issues, and we're gonna have a good time, okay? So, in summary of everything we've seen, you know, everything seems to be a little crazy, a little bit wild. There's one video that I think fully encapsulates what's going on. I've seen the beginning of this video, but I could tell from the style of it that it was gonna be absolutely hysterical. So let's watch this and then close out everything that we've seen so far. Let's get to it.
Hey, did you just graduate?
I sure did.
The cost of everything's up, so hey, good luck to you.
That's fine, because I have a degree so I can get a high-paying job.
But to get a high-paying job, you need experience, not a degree.
Then why did I go to college?
Because you're an idiot. They would hire me over you.
But I went to college so I could get the experience.
No, you need experience, then college, then more experience to get the first job.
That doesn't make any sense.
Neither does rent. You're looking at about $3,000 a month.
$3,000?
For a studio. Did you forget where you live? You live in the Bay Area. Third world. Yeah! Third world. Now that you live in the real world, there's no more free money.
Can I go back to school?
It's too late for you. You graduated already.
Oh my. So then what? So what do I do now?
We have to pay your bills, so go work at McDonald's for the time being.
I went to school for 4 years to work at McDonald's?
Well, how else are you going to pay your bills? You don't have any real world experience, just a degree.
I have my degree in accounting.
Good luck counting those burgers and fries. Good luck counting that change back. The only thing you're going to count is how many days till you pass.
Oh, this is a scam. I'm going back to live with my parents, and I'm going to go figure it out now because this is actually insane.
You wasted 4 years of your life.
So what did I go in debt for?
To make somebody else rich, but good luck with your degree.
Okay, let's be completely honest. Is going to college a waste of time? In my opinion, no. I actually want to get advanced degrees. It's one of the things I'm looking into in my near future. But I'll be honest with you. The whole idea that you're going to just go to college and come out with a high-paying job, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 a year is not super realistic. At this point in the current economy. It doesn't mean that can't change. When, you know, my group got out of college in 2014, the world was a different place, and that happened for some people, but most people I knew were working at restaurants, were working in fast food, bouncing, you know, delivery drivers, like pizza. Like, I don't even think we had like the other type of delivery just yet, but which makes me feel old, even though that was only 11 years ago. Just because you're not living the life that you thought you would live right now doesn't mean that it's not possible. Don't allow all this stuff going around and all the politics stuff and all that to make you feel like life is hopeless. It's definitely not. Keep your head up, pivot, learn new skills. Look, I'm doing reactions. I'm learning more about the world around me through watching it with you guys and having discussions with you guys. And there's a potential for this to make money in the future. It doesn't currently, but I'm still going to show up and do it because I'm loving it. I'm learning how to do this, and I'm loving seeing what people are going through and trying to honestly give you guys a more positive spin on it, or a way to at least understand that it's not over. Just to give you a little bit backstory about me. You know, me and my girl together right now our bills are over $6 grand a month, and it's stressing us out. Right, we live in California, but in the past in my life, I've been evicted, I've had to live on couches, I've been fired from my dream job twice. I've had so many things happen, but I've also had some accomplishments as well. And I'll tell you that in life, it's gonna be cyclical. You're gonna have some highs, you're gonna have some lows. It's about learning how to react to what happens to you. Don't be a victim of it. So it's not about what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. All right, I hope this helps. I know that it's a scary time. I know that things aren't quite what we thought they would be. And I know right now it seems like everyone, no matter what side you're on, feels like everyone's lying to you. And honestly, it's one of the reasons why I'm looking at moving out of the country eventually. But I love America. I don't hate it here. I don't hate how America works. I love America. And I will always say that for the most part, I think. I'm like 95% sure I'll always say that. But I also know that as an American, we do have some amazing privileges, like a very strong passport, a really strong currency at this point in time. That could change, but I don't think it's going to change in the next few years. I think there's so many different ways for us to make use of this time, so many different ways to make money through online or, like through things online in terms of like internet businesses, social media. People think social media is all about looking cool and trying to be better than other people. No, man, we're at a time right now where you can get paid to talk about the things that you enjoy. You know what I mean? There's businesses you can start, there's things you can do. There's a lot of options that our parents didn't have. I just don't want you to think it's all hopeless. Yes, the old school traditional way of doing things might not be as effective in 2025. But those tried and true systems will remain in some capacity, but there are going to be new jobs and new innovations and new fields that are going to emerge. Just make sure you're ready for those. And as we saw in that one video about the fall of the traditional structure, that doesn't mean the skills that you have will go unnoticed and not be used to help provide for you and your family. You just have to find a way to package it the right way. With that being said, man, I hope this was a good video for you guys, man. I'm glad to be back from being sick. I'm still recovering, but I'm doing my best. Right now I'm drinking a shake. I gotta, after this, go right into editing for my fitness channel. So I appreciate you guys, man, and I just want to say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if you want to see a video about like living in Europe versus the United States. I really want to do that. My girlfriend's from Germany, so I would love to do that video with her. I'm going to be looking at the car payment situation that's going on right now online. We don't have a car payment. Our car's paid off, but we're going to look into those types of videos as well. And I also want to look at at housing prices in 2025. We can go state by state. We can look at the overall numbers and just kind of compare. So let me know what you guys think, man. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, folks.